Right now tonight, taking a live look inside the Palm Beach County courtroom where a jury of 12, we understand, is still deliberating behind closed doors about whether the shooter convicted in those Jupiter murders, the triple murder out of Jupiter back in 2017, whether he should live or whether he should die.
Christopher Vasata was convicted of taking 3 lives that Super Bowl Sunday. Their families say they want justice. WPTV News Channel 5's Michelle Casada live now with the final messages attorneys had for the jurors before they began deliberating. Michelle?
Shannon, Kelly, we just got word that the jurors have knocked on the door inside the courtroom, which means they are trying to communicate with the bailiff. We're not exactly sure yet if that means they have a question or a possible verdict on the sentence. We're just waiting to find that out. But the jurors have been deliberating for about 2.5 hours now, just a little over the time that they spent deliberating the verdict when they found Christopher Vasata guilty last week. Now, during closing arguments, Christopher Vasata's attorney asked the jurors to have mercy on him. They said that they should place some value on his life and let him live his life out in prison, the rest of it anyway. And prosecutors did talk to the jurors as well during closing arguments. The prosecutor reminded them of the premeditated murder plot that took the lives of 3 young people that Super Bowl Sunday 2 years ago.
The last people jurors heard from before attorneys made their closing arguments were Christopher Vasata's sisters.
He's caring, he's protected, he's my only big brother. He's the best thing for my life.
The defense team brought in a neurological expert to talk about the impact a car crash injury could have had on Vasata's brain back in 2012.
It's just that in the moment, quick decision making, that's imperative.
But prosecutor Jill Richstone's cross-examination tried to show there was no evidence the car crash produced a traumatic head injury.
This is a minor injury that it's only 5 pages worth of a medical report, correct?
Vasata's attorneys spent a lot of time explaining his childhood struggles and trauma, but in closing arguments, the prosecutor put the accountability back on Vasata.
Many people have very bad childhoods, and they don't grow up and kill 3 people.
Now, 12 jurors have to agree unanimously for the death penalty in order to impose it. If some of them cannot agree and it's split, the judge does go ahead and sentence Vasata to life in prison. Now, if all the jurors also agree on the death penalty, the judge still has, by law, the right to sentence Vasata to life in prison. Now, we are getting a few updates from inside the courtroom. The state just told everyone that they're going straight into sentencing. I guess that means that they're still waiting on that deliberation. So we haven't seen the jury come into the courtroom yet, as I'm told by my photographer inside the courtroom. We're still waiting to find out what this means, but we'll have more throughout the show on air and also online on Twitter if you continue to follow us, and more at 6 o'clock here on Channel 5. Reporting live from the Palm Beach County Courthouse, Michelle Casada, WPTV News Channel 5.